In this video, I'm going to be installing an 034 lower dog bone mount insert on my Mk7 Golf Sportwagen. Alright, I know, I call it 034, I pronounce it like an area code. It might be 034. If anyone from the company is watching this video, feel free to comment below and tell me how to pronounce the name accurately. Now, what I want to do with today's video is create the most helpful and fastest dog bone mount insert install video out there, because there's a ton of them out there and it's not a hard part to install, but I did learn as I went through this installation that there are a few important notes and tips to consider, which I'll be getting to right after this little intro about what a dog bone mount insert actually does. Now, the dog bone mount is a bushing that provides shock absorption when your transmission is transferring power from your engine to your drivetrain. The goal of a dog bone mount insert is to simply remove some of that flexibility of this bushing, allowing for a more direct transfer of power. There are a lot of options out there when it comes to dog bone mount inserts, most made of like a polyurethane or another type of plastic, or there's a few like this 034 insert that are made from aluminum. You can even go a step further and do an upper dog bone mount as well, or you can replace the entire bushing with something more rigid and performance-based if you're willing to sacrifice some of that ride comfort. So I went with the aluminum insert as well as just doing the lower dog bone mount insert for a couple reasons. Price, ease of install, and finally I wanted to retain as much as that daily driving comfort as possible. Now I'm recording this after I've already completed the install, so before we get into it I want to share a couple quick tips that would have been really helpful for me to know before I got started. First, the dog bone mount bolt is considered a stretch bolt, and as the name implies, it is stretched when it's properly torqued. It is best practice to replace this bolt and any stretch bolt with a new one anytime it's removed. Second, and this is an important one, the tolerance or space between the inside of this dog bone mount insert and the bolt head is very tight. The bolt requires a 21mm socket. You will need a thin-walled socket to torque this properly. Those are a silver type socket. I only had impact sockets, which are those black ones with the thicker walls, which was rubbing against the inside of this metal insert. This added resistance would throw off my torque at the end of this install, so a thin-walled socket is needed, and although you probably already have one of these, I didn't, so I had to run out and grab one, which made this install take a little bit longer. Last but not least, and what I'm always looking for in these types of videos, is the torque spec. The torque spec for this stretch bolt is 96 foot-pounds plus 90 degrees, or 130 pig newtons plus 90 degrees. Alright, let's jump into the install. To get started, you gotta give yourself a little bit of room under the front end, so for this I put my car up on jack stands to give me about a foot worth of space to work in. Next, using a 21mm socket, remove the pendulum mount bolt. Next, grab your new dog bone mount insert and slide it into place. It may take a little convincing to get it right where it needs to be, as you can see me slamming on it a little bit here. Grab your new stretch bolt and get it into place. Then grab your 21mm socket and fully seat it. Grab your torque wrench and set it to 96 foot-pounds or 130 newton-meters and torque your stretch bolt in place. Now here I'm just using a Sharpie to mark the bolt so I know its positioning. That way I can get ready to do the additional 90-degree turn. For this additional 90 degrees, a pretty great amount of force is going to be needed. Here I'm using a ratcheting wrench with the addition of a breaker bar to give myself a little bit more leverage. It would probably be against your best judgment to use your torque wrench for this. Alright, that install was really fast, and that was kind of the whole point of this video. So now that I have this lower dog bone mount insert installed, I don't have a ton to say about it just yet. I just put it in about a week ago. I've noticed from going from an idle or from a stop to first gear and second gear, there is a little bit more vibration coming from the transmission and engine when starting. However, it's not very noticeable. It's only to us as drivers and enthusiasts that are really going to be paying attention to that. I do feel like the transfer of power is a little bit smoother as you start to move through gears 2, 3, 4, and 5 and beyond when you're hitting those shift points. So it's an interesting piece. It's very affordable, and I'm noticing a small difference, which for the small price, I think that's a fair trade. So would I recommend it? Yeah, for sure. And it's super fast and easy. Just make sure you get the new bolt as well. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button. Don't forget to maybe subscribe, and I'll catch you soon.